Yo, what up, people? Smith to the motherfucking R here today, of course, to give you guys Freezing Vibration, Episode 1 motherfucking review. Now, I gotta say this right off the bat because, unfortunately, it has to be said. And as a returning person, I got what was going on in the beginning of this episode. I did. But for somebody new who's watching this anime, I can see a lot of confusion. And even in this anime, they did not really break down like in the first episode, because that's what they're supposed to do. You know, they need a little bit of something to run on. I mean, people see, oh, freezing vibrations, what's this? And then they check out the first episode and they're like, oh, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and that's a problem. We did get a good nitpick of information, except they left out one category very. I'm like, yo, they left out the actual freezing category about the male characters, and that really did ups. I was like, yo, I get that it's all about the women in this anime, like legit, like yo, like High School DxD, yo, just saying. But there's a problem with it, and that is they missed a little part, and so when people saw that Nova excrete that fucking field, and then you see this dude and he shoots like some weird like thing at it, some like Kodatic shit, like on some Tron shit. Like when you see that, you probably didn't know what was going on. You didn't know that he was actually like reversing their freezing ability, and you didn't know that. And that's sort of a problem because that scene could have confused a lot of people if you didn't already were somewhat familiar with the series. But besides that little gripe in the beginning, I really enjoyed it. Okay, it starts off, they're in this fucking helicopter. Get warm, yo, get warm with me, nigga. Get warm, shit. You gotta get warm. What the fuck can I say? You gotta get warm. But then from then, it got to a point where basically there's a stress call, and so they're going through, and so now they don't even know where they're going now, but now they're going to this stress call somewhere, and then it turns out basically that there's a nova that appeared, and there's a shitload of snow, and it's Alaska. We find that out later, but they're in Alaska, but it's Alaska arc anyway. The thing about it is, and you gotta be like, yo, like they were like, okay, they expect us to jump out, so they fucking jump out and they're about to do their shit, and then you just see like fucking jets, and like the helicopter releases its flares, and it flares up the area, and you can see this giant ass fucking robot thing, and then you're like, yo, that was a shit, like, yo. And then in comes the fucking jets, bombs the shit out of it, and you're like, yo, and it's still standing, like not even a fucking scratch, motherfuckers, not even a little burn mark, like yo. And then they send in the AC-130, yo, fucking bow, yo. They sent in the AC-130. That got me hyped. I was like, yo, they sent an AC-130 at this motherfucker, yo, because I mean, shit. I'm enjoying like this human shit. They're actually using actual human technology and shit. And then fucking machine guns ain't doing shit, and so they start getting to the action. They summon their fucking weapons, like, yeah, it's go time. And then they start fighting it. And their idea is, of course, to lure it into this ditch. Because, of course, there's like this nice little ditch, and their plan is to bury it. And so they get it over to the ditch. Good ass animation. I'm enjoying it. Then apparently, like it was like I was digging it. I was digging the beginning fighting, but it was a little confusing because I had to first remember fucking freezing and what the fuck was happening, and it was honestly pretty confusing. But you see, that's not what I really want to talk about. It was like basically you get stuck under the fucking snow, and then in come these other freezing, these other motherfucking bitches. They just come in and they just started fighting this fucking thing. Like, yo, cut that bitch open, explosion, he's dead. And that's not what I want to talk about. Because, of course, it was cool ass fighting, but that wasn't really what made me like, yo. Because there were a couple moments in there, I'm like, yo. Cause, trust me, they showed some, yeah. Just saying. They got some nice, yeah. And then basically, they're on this fucking boat. They find out they're in Alaska. And they're going to this under like this top secret but not really top secret fucking area in Alaska that's basically making something, and we find out later that they're making basically Pandaras. Yeah, Pandaras. And a Pandera is a woman with a special trait to, in order to receive a Pandera, like legit, in order to fight these Nova off. And the Pandera is a way for them to take the other girls who don't have this special trait, who aren't compatible with this, and give it to them. And it has like this big like uproar, like it's like now all the women are fighting. But the thing about it, I want to really talk about though. This is like, yo, because I never read the manga. It's on my list. It's on my fucking list. It's number 5. It's number 5, bro. It's number 5. I got 4 more things to read, and then in comes Friesen. But the thing is, this got me like, yo, really? Because basically they're on this fucking boat. She's putting on her fucking glasses, like, yo, doing the shit. I'm digging it. And then, basically, this girl with the fucking boxing gloves. I cannot remember her name for the life of me. Cannot. But this girl with the boxing gloves. Basically, she's like hitting on this motherfucker. And I believe, what's her name? Oh, on. I believe her name was maybe possibly Okawa. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not. Because that, fuck her name. But basically, okay, so, of course, motherfucking Satellizer. Like, yo, like, Satellizer. That's her name. That's actually her name. He's just putting on her fucking glasses, and they're having, like, this nice little thing. And this really got to me. Because Kazuha, this motherfucker, Kazuha, they haven't baptized yet. Like, I know I'm sort of rambling, but that got me. I was like, yo, like, they didn't baptize yet? Like, and if you didn't know, baptism is basically losing a certain, like, that's a baptism. And it's when they partner up, they mate, and then they're partners for, like, life. And I remember back in old season 1, when that bitch had, like, mad niggas. Yo, I want this motherfucker chew. Like, yo, they got me. But, the thing about it was, like, still, I mean, I believe that this is actually somewhat pretty far in the manga. I believe it was, like, I believe it was near the end, or around the middle. I'm not pretty sure, but I believe it was around the end. And the thing about it is, if this is around the end, and they still haven't baptized, that's kind of getting me, like, I'm not digging, like, yo, they've been through all types of shit together, and still, like, it just pisses me off a little bit, okay? It just pisses me off a little bit. And then from that, of course, the whole introduction to Pandora, and that's basically the rest of the episode, except for a shitload of titty scenes, and changing up their fucking camo armor shit, like, yeah. Like, their what do they call it? Their Volt armor, yeah. But the big introduction, though, was of more characters, and these are like the big name motherfucking Pandoras of other nations, and they're like in the top 5. Oh, she's in the top 5, bro. She's in the top 5. Like damn. I'm digging that. And you meet this girl from America, and apparently she's a zombie or immortal. I want to see what the fuck she can do. Then there's like this girl in UK. I don't give a fuck. There's this girl from France or something like that. And, I'm like, what? I'm just trying to see what these other girls could do, because they got all the Pandoras. They're basically using them as human test subjects so that they can make the Pandoras work. And there are actually 3 of them there, and we all already saw, like, and they were taking a shot. I'm like, yo, they're taking a shot, yo. What the fuck? I mean, this just has those moments in it, like, all throughout. Just like, that was basically what the episode was about. But it was sort of a good introduction. I did get it a little bit, except a couple of bad things. Of course, that being, they didn't really explain the whole male situation very well. I do, on the other hand, though, I really like the new introduction of Pandoras. And this whole Alaska arc apparently is supposed to be the shit. It's supposed to be the shit. But then we got the fact that they didn't really mess with the male characters. And then we got the fact that they didn't really say each other's names very much, because that kind of got me. I mean, man, Reason came out in like 2011, bro. 2 years. You expect me to remember these niggas' names? No, no. I mean, I expected some like name drops, like except for like the usual like one here for the new introduction. I mean, they should be saying each other's name all the time because they're like a fucking three-way. You know, they know each other. They've been through shit, and they should know. They should be saying each other's names all the fucking time. But no, they don't. And I'm like, yo, I mean, they didn't say the names enough. It didn't really stick with me. I'm like, oh fuck. Now I gotta go back and I gotta try and remember these niggas' names. Fuck that. And then, but then it did have that awesome ass beginning scene where we saw exactly what type of situation these were in, and this was like realistic settings. AC-130J fucking jets dropping bombs on motherfuckers. Yo, that was my shit. I was digging that. Then we got all those miscellaneous scenes. Yo, let's call it that. And then we got, of course, this whole two girls, one guy sort of situation. It's still, like, yo, like, it's still going on. Like, I don't know. I'm not really into one dude in a harem, like, that doesn't do shit. Like, no. And, of course, the dude, to me, doesn't seem that strong anymore. That's like a bad thing. Like, I don't know, it was like in the beginning of the first episode, he was like, yo, this is a badass motherfucker. And then in this episode, he like gets caught in the motherfucking trench and shit. Like, he gets caught in the explosion. Like, the fucking burying of this motherfucking Nova that doesn't even fucking work. He comes back out like, yeah, what the fuck? But, I don't know, he just seems so weak now. And I'm not digging it. He just seems like so scrawny and small and weak. And in the beginning, I was like, yo, man, this nigga looks like, you know, he may be a powerful ass motherfucker because he's going to this only, like, female, like, school with, like, all the male students are, like, weak and apparently he's special. But I didn't get that feeling in this one. I didn't get that feeling he was special. He just felt like a fucking side character. And that really is a bad thing. But I'm still digging it, but still, I mean, he just feels like more of like a side character. In the beginning, he was the main fucking character. He started off with this motherfucker. Even though he wasn't like the main character of the story, he was the main character where we're seeing his perspective of things most of the time. You know, like he was introduced first in a sense, so he's usually the main character that's introduced first. But then there's, of course, fucking fucking Satellizer, or this bitch, like Satellite, fucking anyway, and she's like introduced somewhat recent. I'm like, oh. I mean, when she got introduced, in the beginning, she was like, okay, they're partners now, so they're like true main characters. Because, I mean, but at the beginning, you just thought it was this dude. But now it just seems like this dude's like a fucking side character. I mean, they're like little hints that only you'd pick up if you watch the first season, and you know that like, this dude's kind of like a main character. Like, how there's the scenes where he was always talking, and he got his nice close-ups, but no. He just didn't feel like the main character. He just seemed like a fucking side character. Like, or not like a side main, like one in the main group. He just felt like one of the main main characters. Like, and I was like, yo, this ain't right. Like, yo, I'm not feeling this. I don't know why they decided to do that, but it just seemed very weird. Like, I mean, this dude basically, if you didn't watch the first season, you don't know what the fuck he's doing. You don't know what the fuck he is. You don't know barely shit about him except that there are these two hot, very strong chicks that want to get with him through a they're in love with him, and they want to baptize with this and make him their man, in a sense, and legitly, and all that shit. And I'm not digging it, because he's not really the main character from the first season, and that's getting me. I'm like, oh fuck, he's in the main character first. Like, he just like pushed to the side, and I'm not digging that. He didn't even get an explanation of his powers. in like any sense. In of course, neither did really Satellizer or, of course, the boxing chick. Fuck, tell me the bitch's name, please. I'm fucking lost with these fucking names. It's been too long. It's been too fucking long. But the thing about it is that I'm really not in, like that really got me, because I'm looking at this right now from like somebody who's seen the first season, and they really didn't explain the powers of the three main characters that much. I mean, if I didn't see the first season, which I still am pretty iffy on this bitch's abilities, but basically the boxing girl bitch, that bitch, yo, name down below, fuck it, comment. Anyway, her powers are like barely fucking explained. There's like no definition of them at all. I just came into this shit. Even though I watched first season, I'm still feeling a little bit like this. Like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Like, she has gloves on, like, and then this bitch summons like a sword and like starts cutting and shit, and then there's like weird birds. None of the powers are really explained yet. It was just basically that they're these special people, and we're trying to make them artificially. And although I'm digging this, I'm digging this shit, but yet I don't know. They just focused on they didn't focus on the characters that much. They focused on the story, like the situation, instead of like the characters in the story. Yeah, that makes fuck sense. There's like this. You can either focus on the situation or the characters in the story. You gotta usually pick one. You can sort of do both of them at the same time if you want to, or you can pick one or the other. And it seems like they instead picked the whole situation of what's going on instead of the whole character revamp. Like, yo, this is this bitch and she does this, and like, look at what she did last season. Like, I was waiting for a fucking flashback. I was expecting at least one or two, and there really weren't any. I mean, it was like everything that happened in the first season was like basically, like, except for the romance aspect, was gone. And that's kind of like a disappointment. It really is. I'm digging it, but I'm not. I mean, it's fucking weird, okay? Even though they did miss off at some points, I was actually enjoying the entire fucking episode. It was, by very least, 9 out of 10 good. It was at the very least good. Even though it missed on some things, I'm like, yo, I mean, what about the new people watching this shit? What they at? What about the people who watched this shit when it first came out like 2 fucking years ago? What about them? Yo. It's like, yo, do they gotta rewatch shit just so they can fucking watch this? No. They shouldn't have to. There should be some of the previous story in the story. Some fucking flashbacks. Like, yo, this is what happened then. This is what we're going to now. But there wasn't. I mean, the whole idea of an anime opening, I'm digging it. Like, like, if it was an individual anime, that would have been pretty well. I mean, it would have been very confusing at the same time, but still, it would have been pretty good. But when you take it as a season 2 and it's trying to catch new viewers, or should at least try, it makes it questionable. Because, I mean, that's just how it is. It's just questionable. I mean, you saw a fucking episode. It was just questionable. There's no better way to say it than it was just questionable. Like, you had so many fucking questions, especially if you didn't watch this shit. And I'm like, yo, no. They need to step the game up. They need to step the game up fast. Even though I'm digging the animation and the fighting and the story, I really am. They left out some parts. And they left out like the complete last season. It's all left out. And I'm not digging it. I can't. But even without that, the episode itself was very, very good. I'm digging it. But when you take that into account, it's kind of like, yo, there's a lot that they left out. And they need to really touch on this subject, especially for some interest, like it's like fucking World Only God Knows season 1 compared to World Only God Knows season 3. Like that's the best way to fucking describe it. It's like they're skipping like, what the fuck happened? Like now he's going like who the fuck is like? It's just going confusing. But even with all that, what? I'll give it a 9.1 out of 10. Great. I'll give it a great episode. But it needs to step its game up. It really does. It really does. Because even though it was a great episode overall, me knowing the shit that they left out, and me looking at this at the perspective of somebody that never seen this shit before, I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? I'm getting some of it, but what the fuck was this nigga doing? Like what the fuck? They said their names, like all their names, like one time. How am I supposed to remember these niggas' names? There you go. Fuck. So, fuck it. Smith to my fucking on. I did dig the episode, but they need to step the game out for episode 2, because I ain't letting no shit go episode 2. If I don't know what this nigga does episode 2, for the new viewers, especially from that perspective, then it might get a somewhat of okay rating. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what this shit does. So with that being said, of course, Smith is still my fucking R. It was great. Step your game up, though. Step your game up. I ain't cutting you no slack. Episode 2. I'm gonna be damn straight with your ass. No slack. So comment, like, subscribe, all that shit. Wanna know what you guys think about the episode? These fucking character names. Fucking comment down below. Help a brother out. Help a brother out. And besides that, peace out.